Hello, friends. Hope all of you are safe and at home in these trying times. As you all are aware that the situation is getting worse and worse every day. And it's important that we focus not only on our health, which is physical, but our mental health as well. Keeping this thought in mind, we have come up with a 4-session module that will focus on 4 main aspects. First one being around food and nutrition, which is very important when everyone is at home and trying to think ways to include the right food in their daily diet to build their immunity. Second session will focus on lung health. And all of us are aware that a lot of people today are facing breathing issues post-recovering from the pandemic, including having chest pains as well. So in that session, we will hear from experts on how one can improve their respiratory endurance as well as their breathing. The third session will focus on mental health, where we will have a renowned psychologist who will tell us how one can reduce their stress and anxiety in these really unprecedented times. All this will then lead to the fourth session, which is focused on strength, stamina, and energy. It is very important to be physically and mentally fit to fight away all these infections and viruses. And what we have done is broken each of these important health issues into different sessions to make sure you understand better and that you all are working towards that one goal of having a good and holistic health for you and your family. I would also like to remind you all that we at Amway and Nutritionist are constantly working towards getting you innovative supplements that can help support your immunity and overall health. In these past few months, we have launched 2 very critical products that are needed to support your immunity and overall health, like our Chyawanprash by Nutrilite and Nutrilite Vitamin C Cherry Plus with extended release. Hope you all have been using these every day as per your need. Apart from this, we also have a wide variety of supplements that can cater to all your needs like immunity, low energy, fatigue, stress, respiratory health, digestive health, liver health, heart health, and so much more. So please be a part of these informative sessions and gain new insights for you and your near and dear ones to look after your health and nutrition. I would also like to take a moment of your time and talk about my personal journey post I became COVID positive. It was a tough time for me and my family as I was the only one who was positive. And as soon as I felt the very first symptom of fever, I quickly isolated myself and took all the precautions that I possibly could. What my key takeaway was that my body had become very weak with a little bit of breathing issues and my fever was raging. What really got me through, I believe, was along with the medicines prescribed by my doctor, I took vitamin C for supporting my weakened immunity every day, which I am continuing till date. In fact, I've been always taking that and probably I'm better off today because I was always kind of thinking and building my immunity. When I recovered from COVID, I made sure my diet was rich in protein, omega-3, vitamins and minerals, where I ate things like soya, paneer, eggs, fresh fruit, a lot of nuts, as well as even mixed protein powder with most of the food that I ate. So friends, remember, it's very important to take care of what you eat when you are in the recovery process. Having a healthy, nutritious meal that would help rebuild your muscle, immunity and energy levels is ideal. And that is why today's session is about the right diet and supplements one should have to not just build immunity, but just in case one has gone through some infection or virus, what is the kind of care and diet one should have? Knowing that is critical. And friends, please remember, these are my personal experiences. Please follow your doctor's advice and government guidelines to stay healthy and protected. So without much further ado, I invite our expert speaker, Dr. Priyanka Rohatgi, who will talk to us about the role of food and nutrition during these times and what is the best way to support your immunity and overall health. So stay with us.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure that this pandemic has changed a lot of perspective that we have had in the last couple of years. And it's important for us to understand that physiologically, emotionally, and physically, we are all drained out. So we need to have the right information to be in the best frame of mind. And trust me, it is only your body, your immunity, which will definitely take you out of this pandemic. Vaccination, however, may help you to fight the disease in a much better fashion, but your important part is the lifestyle that you carry, the kind of diet that you eat, and how physically fit you are. So let's not really get into a lot of technical jargons. Let's take it like a story rolling down to understand the phases of COVID. So we would talk about a pre-COVID preparation, a COVID infection preparation, and a post-COVID recovery. So for this, let me first tell you, when the pandemic started last year, March, in India, we had a lot of people who started drinking loads and loads of kadha. They switched on to a lot of Ayurvedic, homeopathic preparations whereby they were not very sure of the composition and they would just pop in anything that was supposed to be safe to prevent COVID. But do you think you're doing right? No. I'm sure that we have a gut feeling that any tablet which we don't know the composition of, we really cannot be very confident of consuming it. So what's most important is to understand if there is a particular bacterial or viral infection. So to be very specific, a COVID infection, which is to begin with a viral infection, gets into the body, multiplies manifold and increases the viral load, infects the body and makes us in a poor bacterial state with a very high bacterial load. So with this kind of a scenario, it's important for us to understand what is it that we are fighting. So we are fighting a disease which is causing a lot of inflammation. By inflammation, we understand it is a swelling which is created. It could be in the mucosal lining, it could be in different organ parts. So we need food which is anti-inflammatory. So anti-inflammatory would mean foods which naturally would help to reduce this kind of swelling inside the body, in the body fluids, in the organs. So that typically would mean nutrient-wise a diet which is high in biological value protein. So we would talk about more of proteins in detail. We also want a lot of omega-3 in our diet. We want loads of vitamin C, which is strengthening our weakened immunity. We need to focus on our vitamin A. We need to look at our dietary fiber because we want our gut health to be really fit and fine. We also want selenium and chromium along with copper. So these are a category of nutrients together which will help you fight any inflammation, and that is why we classify them as anti-inflammatory nutrients. Also, this particular disease has found to have a very funny approach in having blood clots, which we call as coagulation profile. So we've been hearing people having a lot of blood clots. Their pneumonia, if when we see on the lungs, is showing patches of clots around the lungs. People are having heart attacks, people are having strokes, and these are basically because the coagulation profile, the blood clotting of the body is altered. So we need to look at consuming polar lipids which are anticoagulant in nature. We would talk about that in the diet. Then looking at our immune system. Our immune system is like the soldiers that we have which are fighting the war for us in the forefront. So we have to be very sure that our blood counts are in the best of their health. The blood is not overloaded with a lot of high blood pressure or high sugars, or even if we have any underlying problem like diabetes, cancer, or a thyroid, or blood pressure, or obesity, we try to keep it in the best controlled phase. Few nutrients play a very important role there, and they are your vitamin E, iron, and zinc. So we would talk about those foods also. Then we come to the respiratory health. It's also seen that once the infection enters from your nostrils, it stays in your throat for some time, and then it penetrates into the lungs, which is determining your respiratory health. So again, your vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin D plays a very important role there. Then comes the oxidation. So whenever any antiviral, whenever any viral infection attacks our body tries to form antibodies to fight it to the best possible capacity. In this process, it also releases a lot of chemicals, which in technical terms we call as cytokines. Now, sometimes when the viral load is multiplying many-fold, like we see in the COVID scenario, our body also tries to include or produce a lot of cytokines, and we in the process face something called a cytokine storm. So that's when we have to balance out the cytokine storm, which naturally through your nutrients you could do it with the use of omega-3 fatty acids, with vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E. So if we talk about the entire COVID phase in 3 categories: the pre-COVID times, where you are preparing yourself in the best of your health so that you don't really have the infection, and God forbidden, if you pick up the infection, you don't really worsen as bad as you have seen the other people. So in the pre-COVID phase, we have to remember, we have to prepare ourselves for all these things. So the best way to do that would be control your weight. So if you think you are on the overweight or obese side, try and be physically active to get rid of those extra kilos, which can harm your immunity in the long run. Second important thing is, try and strengthen your muscle mass by good physical activity and also by a good protein intake. So we talked about proteins and the high biological value proteins. So high biological value proteins would be the proteins, when ingested, have the complete amino acid, which is like a 20 amino acid chain, which has both essential and non-essential amino acids in it, so that it is readily available and absorbed in the body. So whenever you are trying to eat foods, include foods which are rich in pulses. It could be in the form of sprouts, it could be in the form of pulses added to your chapati atta in the form of besan or sattu ki roti, or whatever form you feel, you can include it from your traditional dietary plate. Also look at some forms of animal fat, like looking at moderate fat or low fat dairy products like curd, milk, paneer, cheese. So these would also give you a benefit of adding protein to your diet. If you are a egg eater and a non-veg eater, you could include eggs in your diet. You could look at adding chicken, fish in the low fat preparations where you've not exposed them to very high temperatures or in a very spicy format. Okay, so this is a very simple way of building up our meals. Now it's important that every meal is taken care of. So if we have something like a breakfast, it cannot just be a plain aloo paratha. If you have to eat a stuffed paratha, you could add paneer to it, you could add a bowl of buttermilk or curds along with that, so that you get the goodness of proteins along with the carbohydrate that you're eating. If you're on a weight loss program, try and reduce the portion of your carbohydrate and add equivalent quantity of vegetables and proteins to get that satiety. With the vegetables, you would get a lot of your vitamins and minerals. So you have leafy vegetables, which will give you your vitamin A in the form of the natural vegetarian form, in the form of beta carotene, which in the body will then convert into retinol. Your vitamin C comes directly from the leafy vegetables, but because it is very, very heat unstable, so you cannot really cook it at very high temperatures. Also with vegetables, you'll get fiber, which will take care of your gut health. So together, when you try and make your meals wholesome, that is when you get the goodness of the anti-inflammatory foods. Adding a pinch of turmeric would definitely give you an additional benefit in adding the goodness of herbs, our Indian herbs that are present. Then moving on to our snacking pattern. So once we finished our breakfast, we see that we tend to snack on items like biscuits, mixtures. That would not be something which would be healthy, because you're just having something which is made out of maida with a lot of sugar added to it. So rather, let's look at fruit as a supplement. Let's look at sprouts as a supplement, which gives us protein. Or we look at a protein supplement, which gives us good protein just in the form of a small shot. And we can really take care of our nutritional levels by a small snack, which is readily available and not harming our health status. Coming to lunch, we try and make it a wholesome plate with all the fruits and vegetables that we've discussed, some amount of whole grains, some amount of pulses, some forms of dairy. And if you feel that you are not really meeting up your requirements, adding a little bit of iron, calcium in the supplement form along with the food would be good. Make sure that you don't club wrong combinations together. So if you have to take calcium, take it with your lunch, space out your iron with your dinner, because we don't want iron and calcium to compete for absorption in the body. So space them out. Then comes your napping pattern. We find all of us, since we are in the pandemic, we are really tempted to take that afternoon nap, and immediately after lunch we place the tray here and we are right on the sofa lying down. That delays our digestion, and that is a very, very wrong practice to follow. Rather, if we really want to be in the best pre-COVID health, we would like to take a stroll. So after lunch, in the hall, in your balcony, in the veranda that you have, you could just take a 10-15 minute stroll, which would help you digest your food much better. The benefit of the stroll is the efficiency of digestion is improving. You are using your muscles to move around, you're more physically active, and you are giving a leeway for the body to not become a couch potato. After that, if you want to lie down, maybe after an hour or so, you can take an afternoon nap, which again should be like a power nap, not like hours together of lying down and being physically inactive. Some of us have been constantly working on the systems. So if you have to work on the system throughout the day, make sure you take a break every 2 hours, take care of your eye health, you're continuously moving in between, take a 5-minute break after the 2 hours, or if you have to go for longer meetings in between, if you're not on the camera, you could do a little bit of stretching your arms, raising your legs up, a few chair-bound exercises so that we do not accumulate a lot of uric acid while we are physically inactive. Not to forget keeping a water bottle on your table. So something as simple as this. This is a plastic one. I'm sure we would like to keep a steel one. But since I'm at work, I had only the luxury of this. But let's have a nice tumbler of water every 1 hour that we are awake. So this will keep our toxins continuously excreted out from the system. Every 1 hour, 1 glass of unsweetened beverage. Now you must be wondering why unsweetened. Sugar seems to be one of the best things that human generation loves. Now what really happens with sugar is when we are trying to consume anything which is loaded with sugar. So be it a dry fruit milkshake or a mango milkshake or an ice cream or a chocolate, what really happens is the body cells are equally greedy as we are. So the moment the sugar enters into the body, all the other nutrients are parked aside and the body cells are continuously working for the next 30 minutes to absorb this sugar. So what happens to the other nutrients? All the other nutrients go unabsorbed. So all the goodness of our nuts, the goodness of milk, the goodness of all the other things that you've eaten goes for waste. And I'm sure we don't want to do that. So let's cut down our sugar in whatever possible manner we can. And let's not, overdo it. So we cut down our sugars little by little and then come to a stage where we can do with maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons of sugar throughout the day. So with this, we understand that nutrients can really help in building our pre-COVID immunity. Similar to that would be our dinner, which would be around 2 hours prior to lunch, 2 hours prior to sleep. And we are not going to sleep with our gadgets. Of late, what we see is everybody is lying on the bed, holding the phone up, and the room is dark. So what really happens is this constant light which is bothering your eyes does not let your brain come to a sleep mode. And sleep, if it is getting affected, it is not letting your hormones get rejuvenated in the biological cycle, which it had to do. So it's important that we look at understanding that we have to take a good nap. For that, the screen time has to be less. And at least the time when we have to sleep, 1 hour prior to that is a digital detox time. So we are not going to look at any gadgets at that point of time. So having understood the pre-COVID scenario, now if for any reason we precipitate the infection because we came in contact with somebody and it's all around in the air, we don't really have to panic, because we've done all the work that was needed to help our body to fight this infection. Let's understand that out of the 100% of COVID patients, 85% have mild infections. And we may be out of those 85% people if we've done our homework really well. So we really don't have to panic. The remaining 10% may be moderate, and only 5% would really get severe. But what we are typically seeing is these 85% moderate young cases are ignoring their health when they get COVID or in the pre-COVID times. And that's when they become bad, they desaturate, and then they get into the severities. So now that we have the complete understanding, we have to be very, very cautious. The day you are tested positive or you pick up the symptom and you understand that you may have picked up the infection of COVID, please isolate yourself. Isolation does not mean getting into the emotional drama of having a feeling that I am now gone, I have no life further. No, you don't really have to do that. You have to be very active in monitoring your saturation, which can be done on the index finger. It can even be done on the earlobe. It can be done on the fingers of your feet also. So you be comfortable, let the oxygen reading come, stabilize for 2-3 seconds, and that's what you take as your reading. The reading initially would be beautiful, like 96, 97, 98, sometimes 99. So you don't have to get very excited, because the first week is a nice comfortable phase. The right investment of good health in the first week will yield you good results in the second week. Having checked our saturation, we have to prepare our lungs for better breathing exercise, which means that we want to expand the capacity of our lungs to take in more oxygen, expire more oxygen. We've heard about small exercises like blowing balloons. So try and hold a balloon, take a bigger balloon, blow it out to the fullest capacity with whatever oxygen that you can give out. So in the single breath, how much can you blow out? This is one very good exercise for lungs. Along with that, if you have a spirometer along with you, where you see those 3 tiny balls, and with the effort of taking a deep breath, you have to bring it up, you could do that. If at all you don't have that, focus on deep breathing exercises as simple as your pranayama exercises. If you're trained in yoga, you could try doing alom vilom, which will again give you the benefit of giving a good lung capacity to your body. Having done that, we have to focus on repeating the same. So if we have got the infection, every 4 hours we check our saturation. Every 5-6 hours we try and do breathing exercises. Now the viral load is currently all concentrated around the nose and the throat. So taking good steam and warm fluids can really reduce the viral load. And this is something which is not cost involving. So you just have to keep your steamer handy and inhale steam. If you're doing it the traditional way on a gas burner or on your induction cooker, putting a container, steel container, and putting water, you could even add salt there. Salt is a natural anti-inflammatory, which is going to get in and reduce the viral load inside. This is the time when you have to be very, very cautious on your hydration levels. You may feel depressed, you may feel worried, you may not have the right interest in eating food, but if we do not hydrate ourselves, we are accumulating all the toxins and we are letting the viral take over the infection, which we don't have to. So we don't have to give up. We have to take good sips of warm water throughout the day, stay very well hydrated. Check our saturations, keep our doctors informed. This is the time, if you have been advised any antiviral medication, start that along with a mild antibiotic which will take care of your sore throat. This is the time for you to really invest in good nutritional supplements. Now, why not just diet? Because now that the virus has entered into the body, we need more volumes of these vitamins and minerals, a little more higher than our recommended dietary allowances. So this is the time when you can actually take a good vitamin C, tablet, which if offers an extended release will give you really the benefit of having a good absorption and a good value for the supplement that you've paid for. Correct your vitamin D levels, ensure that your vitamin A, if you were deficient, is corrected. Adding omega 3 and vitamin E can be beneficial. Having a good bicosule with zinc would be an added bonus. So what really happens when you are taking all these, the fatigue that may set in because of the viral infection would come down and you would feel much energetic, and that is what we want. We don't want you to be lying down on the bed just like a patient. We want you to be active in the isolated room. And what you have to do is, if you have checked your saturation, you take a 6-minute walk, again check your saturation. If after the 6-minute activity or walk, the saturation drops by 5%, we immediately report to our doctor and lie down in the prone position, that is on your stomach, facing downwards, and doing breathing exercises. And keeping a steamer close to you so you are inhaling good warm steam would help you definitely improve your saturation. So we don't have to panic, we don't have to lie down. We have to depend on the best of the science of all these supplements and doing the right things right. If at all there is a loss of smell, there is a loss of taste, or you're more tired, more anxious, discuss with your family members. Stay socially connected, but do not get panic with the forwards which come in from the social media. This is what is happening to everybody. We keep reading about so-and-so person desaturated, or so many hospitals had lack of oxygen, and this is sort of playing a very negative role on our mindset. So we don't really have to look at all that. We have to hold our own forte and fight it out. Having done that, within a week or 10 days, repeat your blood tests as per the doctor's recommendation, and you would be beautifully able to manage and come out of the infection. If at all there is anything severe, you may need an admission for certain IV medications, but since you've intervened beautifully right from the beginning, you would not definitely get into the severities of infection. What we have seen is people who have ignored, have not started their supplements, have ignored their food intake, have been very anxious, or had certain comorbid conditions were the ones who really became worse. After that, in the post-recovery phase, what most of the people complain is that they are very tired. You would experience it with your friends and family, and this is the time which is more important because infection has gone in, but the body needs to recuperate, and it takes at least 2 to 3 months for people to come back to their normal energy levels. So this is the time for you to continue your supplements, increase the intake of your proteins. You can even go up to more than 1.2 to 1.5 grams of proteins during this phase. You have to hydrate yourself well. This is also the time when you cannot ignore checking your saturations. This is a low cost or a no cost measure that you can do at home. So please don't forget your your oximeters. Take it out and keep checking. Now is the time when your spirometer should show all the 3 balls up in the air, so you are improving your lung capacity. If at all you have had any steroid use, or you are a diabetic and the sugars were really high, and you experience some kind of nasal drips or a swelling around your nose, or the eyes are swollen, or you have bad headache, report it to your doctor. Just get a preliminary check for what is called as black fungus or mucormycosis. Cases recover very well if the mucormycosis is identified early, and there are very minimal fatal episodes. It's only when we ignore and we come at the stage where it's sitting in the brain, that's when it becomes difficult to handle. So in the post-recovery phase, we will give you a 10-point mantra. The first point being, this is the time you have recovered. You cannot really go easy on your diet and start alcohol. No. You will have to continue eating healthy, avoid all kind of smoking and alcohol. You have still not recovered. You need to take care of your body. So first point is eat healthy, avoid all kinds of smoking and alcohol. You have recovered does not mean that you hook on to Netflix or Amazon and you're into binge watching of TV. Excess screen time will add up to your wrong posture sitting and bad headache, which would help your mind, which would not help you recover really well. So you have to cut down your screen time, stay connected, tell people the easy way, the simple way to follow the steps and recover well. So when you give out your positive feedback, people really understand that this is just a breeze which can be handled and it is not a real tsunami which they panic and they worsen. But right time intervention is the best thing for them to do. Some form of meditation would be a good thing to do. So focus on your me time, focus on increasing your concentration, deep breathing exercises, which is very, very important. This is a phase where you have to stay active. Like you were in your isolation, you were active. Similarly, you cannot really just lie down as a log. You have to be physically active. If you want to resume back to your walking or minor exercises, please do that. Some stretching exercises at home would also be a good idea along with your breathing exercises. We have to learn some kind of new skills to divert our mind from any kind of negative impact. We do hear people coming back with different infections, different things. We have to be watchful, but we cannot make ourselves so vulnerable that every time we are trying to just put all the symptoms to ourselves and get worried. So you have to engage yourself in new skills, focus on your protein, hydration, vitamins, minerals, continue avoiding your excess sugar intake, take some forms of fiber and probiotics. If you want to take some forms of herbs, do not make a very concentrated kadha and drink it because that can upset your GI symptom. So what you need to do is, if you like tulsi, just infuse a little bit in your drinking water. You don't really have to boil it and make it like a concentrate. And try and focus on every 1 hour, 1 glass of fluids. You may have little discomfort in the form of chest congestion. Steam can still continue so that it gives you the good release, and with deep breathing exercises you will feel much better. So the things that we have to handle in the post-COVID time is low energy levels by good food intake and proteins, difficult breathing by warm steam inhalation and deep breathing exercises, chest congestion by ensuring that the saturations are right and we are doing our breathing exercises and eating all the supplements which will support the reduction of the cytokines. If you have poor appetite still, you still have to eat small and frequent meals. You can't skip meals. You have to focus more on proteins than carbohydrates. Healthy nuts or a handful of healthy nuts as a snack would be a good idea. Headaches are basically because of screen time. We're all the time on the phone, reading, watching, getting panicked, or watching TV and getting dehydrated. So if you are sitting upright, just watching a limited hour of TV, that would not cause headache. When you're lying down throughout the day and watching your phones or TVs, that's the time when you get bad headaches because of the wrong posture. Neck aches is something again which can come in. Stay well hydrated. Focus on good postures, so that will take care of your headaches. Lack of sleep is something you need to discuss with your doctor. The easiest way to do that is bedtime, having a glass of warm milk with some supplement added. That releases a lot of tyrosine, which gives you good feel for a good night's sleep. Also, cut yourself from unnecessary news. Keep your gadgets out 1 hour prior to your sleep time so that you are not getting interrupted with all these bright lights and UV rays from your telephone. So with these small things, we all can fight this pandemic. And I'm sure we have great family and friends whom we can talk to. We have a lot of medical fraternity who can help you come out of it. So we really need to stay positive in our minds and negative in our RT-PCR. Thank you.
तो पी लो बेटा, कैल्शियम है।
पर पूरा पड़ेगा क्या?
अंडे
इतने सारे
खा लो, प्रोटीन है।
पर पूरा पड़ेगा क्या? सैलेड?
हाँ, विटामिन्स के लिए।
पर पूरा पड़ेगा क्या?
तो मॉम, कैसे पड़ेगा पूरा?
ऐसे
जब आपका डेली इंटेक ऑफ विटामिन, प्रोटीन और कैल्शियम आपकी बॉडी के लिए सफिशिएंट होगा, तब खाना पूरा पड़ेगा। अपनी रेगुलर डाइट को सप्लीमेंट करो विद Amway and Nutritionist, world's #1 vitamins and dietary supplement brand. Plug the nutrition gap with Nutrilite.
Many people ask me how to get maximum immunity during this time, what to eat at this time. I also get asked, how do I manage my family's diets at this time or their immunity? My answer is nothing has changed. Building one's immunity, a healthy diet is a lifestyle. It is not a few weeks or a few months that you do something special. It has to become a lifestyle. It has to become a habit. Now, I will give you 3 principles I personally follow. And before that, by the way, my entire family, got the virus and we recovered brilliantly. And I give a lot of credit to a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle, and the right supplementation. Right? So I will give you 3 principles that I believe is important for immunity and health. Now, principle number 1, getting enough protein. We think protein is needed to build muscle, but we need protein to also build immunity for the long term. Right? So I have an incredible explanation about why protein is needed on my YouTube channel. You can refer to that. Now, personally, for a body weight like mine, I need about 70 grams of protein every single day. Now, I can say I eat a relatively good diet, a protein-rich diet, a non-vegetarian diet. I still cannot manage to get enough protein on a daily basis. That's why I personally supplement with the all plant protein from Nutrilite. I also supplement with the whey protein, right? So supplementing if you're not getting enough of protein is also very, very important. Now, principle number 2 is add more vegetables, add different colors to your plate. I mean, on my YouTube channel, I give you a lot of cooking recipes. I give you a lot of recipes to use, how you can use the protein powder in your daily cooking. But one of my main points is add those colors, add those different variety of vegetables in your diet. I mean, I say 50% of your plate should be filled with different colors. I personally look at 5 colors every single day. Now, after eating all that, I still think I cannot get all of the minerals, the vitamins, and the nutrients I need for myself or my family on a daily basis. So I supplement, definitely I supplement with a daily multivitamin. Now, it's a natural source, it's made from food sources. So I personally have seen huge benefits in supplementing, right? So another thing I do, principle number 3, is the final but the most important principle is move 20 to 25 minutes a day. It is very important. Exercise or moving. Now, I'm not talking about, strenuous, hard, a long exercise. I'm talking about moving 20 to 25 minutes a day. It is very important to build immunity, to keep your immunity up. So these are the 3 principles I follow on a regular basis. Now, you might ask me, what is something? Now, also in the past 1 year, I personally, with my family, have probably missed 3 or 4 days of exercise in the whole year. Why? Because we make it a habit. You just put it in your day and you do it without thinking. It's a habit. Like you drink a cup of tea, it's a habit. You exercise, it's a habit. Now, I will give you just a brief sneak preview of my day on a daily basis. Not special during this pandemic zone. It's a lifestyle that I've been following for many, many years, right? So on a typical day, I wake up at about 6 or 6:30, right? I have a detox drink, a big glass of detox drink. At about 7:15, me and my family, we do an exercise. Now, if you cannot go out for a walk, you do a home exercise, you do stretching, you do breathing, you do yoga, you do any exercise, but you move for 20 to 25 minutes. That's what I do. Then is breakfast. Typically breakfast is oatmeal with all plant protein powder, a citric fruit, maybe some eggs sometimes, and some Nutrilite supplements for sure. Right? Mid-morning, I usually keep it a fruit smoothie or a vegetable smoothie with the all plant protein powder. Now at lunch, very importantly, at lunch, I have 2 types of vegetable. I have some salad. You can have some dahi. I have some eggs for protein, and I have either rice or roti. So like that, you can keep the carbs down. Right? Now, mid-evening, I love my cup of tea. With my tea, I will have some nuts, some almonds or some soy nuts or something to kind of not be too hungry otherwise, right? And dinner is important because I have dinner before 7. Now, most of my dinner is a big plate of vegetables, different colors, different variety, a lot of vegetables. Fill your plate up. You can also have some non-veg in the evening. Keep the carbs down at night, right? And lastly, but the best thing is before bed, I have a scoop of whey protein in water. Now, why do I have a scoop of whey protein in water before bed? Is because whey protein helps my muscles repair at night, and in the morning, I feel great when I wake up. So you might look at me and say, wow, she's invincible. She does all the right things. Well, at this time, nobody's invincible. In fact, my family, my husband got the virus first, and then I got it, my kids got it, the help got it, and we were all sick at the same time, right? But remember, we work on principles of health. We don't do these things on spurts. Right? So during that time, of course, it is a few days of, tiredness. It is a few days of not eating, not feeling like eating. But there are some things you got to remember, even if you're going through those sick days, is hydration. Right? So I made an effort, with me, my family, to hydrate. Doctors are saying 4 to 5 liters of liquids, water. So you don't feel like eating. We were having soups, have soft foods, have soft vegetables, and eat the right things. It's not about eating too much at that time. Now, another thing I did is immunity. That time, the general innate immunity is probably not enough when you are kind of sick with the virus, right? So what I did was at that time, I boosted some of the immunity products, Nutrilite products like the vitamin C. I started to take enough doses of the vitamin C. I started to take the tulsi and the vasaka from Nutrilite, right? And I saw that I was just assisting my body to get rid of the virus and to kind of get over it rather, right? So this is not about, and rest. If your body is saying rest. I didn't exercise in those 7 days, 8 days. And, I hear so much about prolonged, symptoms. And in 7 days, because we do the right things before for a long, long time, during, and even after, it's important to make it a lifestyle. For me, nutrition, healthy lifestyle, moving 25 minutes, eating vegetables, eating more of vegetables, having enough protein, supplementing is not something I started last year. It's been in my life, in my family's life for the past 15 years. It's because these are things we do as a lifestyle, right? Today we are facing a pandemic, right? We don't know what the future has. I say, build your immunity on a daily basis. Build your immunity. Doctors are saying 4 to 5 liters of water, 8 to 9 hours of rest peaceful rest at night, right? And these are things that we have to follow. We say 5 to 7 servings of vegetable, a variety, different colors. Why different colors? Because every color has a different nutrient, has a different vitamin, a mineral that actually works in synergy, right? Enough protein. How much protein is enough, right? Personally, I look at 1.2 grams per body weight on a daily basis. Now, if I tell myself, or if I rather fool myself to think I can get it from my food, it is practically impossible. We are a vegetarian nation, right? We have a tendency to eat more of carbohydrates or vegetables or dals, right? And we are not getting enough protein. Now, the most interesting thing is, and this I explain very clearly in my YouTube channel, is we think we're getting enough, and we don't feel the effects of lack of protein on a daily basis. You don't feel it. You may not even feel it if you're hit by a virus or if you're sick, but you will definitely feel it as you age, right? You will feel it. Your body will feel it when your muscle mass starts to deteriorate, when your bones don't give you enough support or they crack easily. And that's when you will know that your body is not strong enough, right? So you build your body on a daily basis now, right? You have, you take vitamin C, because I take vitamin C because I cannot get 1000 mg from my food. I cannot get it from my diet. I don't know how. I want to eat more oranges, but I don't know where to get it from, and I cannot eat so many oranges, especially when the season is finished. The oranges are dry, so I cannot eat them. So a smart way, right, is eat. I tell myself, my family, I tell people around me, eat what you can from your diet, from your kitchen. But there is a gap. Don't leave the gap. Fill the gap with natural supplements made from food sources. And that's my motto. That is my, take on supplements and eating right.
It's not easy being a mother of two, but I'm crazy for my kids, तो सब चलता है.
But after Naira's birth, Madam was going full crazy.
I was doing double mommy time with no rest, और शाम तक full battery खत्म. I even used to eat at intervals to stay energetic. But my sassy sasu was like,
पूरा पड़ेगा क्या?
फिर कैसा पड़ेगा पूरा?
जब तुम्हारे meals में vitamins और minerals adequate होगा, तब खाना पूरा पड़ेगा.
Then I began supplementing my regular diet with Nutrilite daily. इसकी एक टैबलेट में है 13 vitamins and 11 minerals जो मेरी बॉडी की डेली मिनरल और विटामिन रिक्वायरमेंट को पूरा करने में हेल्प करता है. And I started to feel the change. Oh, sassy sasu, you're the best.
So are you.
Plug the nutrition gap with Amway Nutrilite.
मेरा दिल बसता है इनमें. अच्छा लगता है जब लोग कहते हैं कि दिव्यांका आपके परफॉर्मेंस में दम है. अब ऑन स्क्रीन दम तो सबको नज़र आता है, लेकिन फिजिकल दम का क्या? पता है, कुछ महीने पहले मेरे लिए बहुत एम्बैरेसिंग हो गया था. शूटिंग से लौट रही थी और कार से एलिवेटर तक सामान रखना था. नानी याद आ गई. मैं अपनी न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट से मिली थी रूटीन चेकअप के लिए. उन्होंने मेरे लो प्रोटीन इनटेक को ब्लेम किया. मैंने बताया मैं रोज़ 2 ग्लास दूध पीती हूँ. हाउ कैन इट बी लो प्रोटीन? शी सेड पूरा पड़ेगा क्या? आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड. 2 ग्लास में नहीं तो प्रोटीन कैसे पूरा पड़ेगा? देन शी इंट्रोड्यूस्ड मी टू न्यूट्रलाइट ऑल प्लांट प्रोटीन पाउडर. इसके एक स्कूप में है 8 ग्राम प्रोटीन और न्यूट्रल है टेस्ट में, सो यू कैन मिक्स इट इन एनीथिंग. Then I started to supplement my daily diet with Nutrilite, and it really helps my body to meet its daily protein needs. So I choose to plug the nutrition gap with Nutrilite. When are you starting to?
Friends, I'm Dr. Palani, very happy to connect with you all. I'm a research physician with MBBS and MD, having 18 years of experience in research. In brief, I'm passionate about research and I am involved in establishing scientific information and substantiation regarding the safety and efficacy in this evidence-based era. I joined Amway this year, and it's my immense pleasure to connect with you all and share some of my experience. I represent Amway and extremely excited to work with more than 800 scientists across the globe with diverse aspects to find the solutions to address some of the unmet needs in nutrition. As a physician, it is my first and foremost responsibility to understand and disseminate credible scientific information to the people to maintain optimal health among the healthy and to restore health in those who are recovering. Hope you are all with me. Body and the organs are undergoing tremendous amount of stress in the current situation. I am here to reiterate the importance of nutrition as a companion to good health backed up with science. Nutrition and exercise go hand in hand as our body and mind are intrinsically linked. When you improve the physical health, you will automatically experience greater mental and emotional well-being. Physical activity also releases endorphins, some of the most sought after chemicals released from the body, which lifts the mood. As a result, relieves stress, improves the memory, and help you to sleep better and provides a sense of well-being. The body is equipped with immune system and different immune cells, which is under constant vigil to detect and diffuse any pathogens invading us. Our skin, respiratory tract, digestive tract, all of them, they are the first line defense against these invaders with its soldiers. So who are the soldiers? They are the white blood cells and the differential white blood cells, right? Like natural killer cells, macrophages, T cells, B cells. This is just for your information only, and it's not required for you to remember all the names of these cells. Hence, it is very important to upgrade an immunity to maintain optimal health. Recovering from any illness, body may take some time to heal, and over here, your nutrition will play a significant role. In the process, different organ systems are affected from varying extent of oxidative stress and inflammation. Generally, there may be issues such as fatigue, tiredness, headache, and low immunity. There could be organ-specific issues. For example, heart requires specific balanced nutrients to support normal pumping and circulation. In addition, people with concurrent conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease stress the endothelium. Endothelium is nothing but the lining of the heart and the blood vessels, and these people require additional attention. Another important organ, the gastrointestinal tract, undergoes varying rates of imbalance in the gut microbiome, which is of utmost concern, and early restoration is the key to good digestion, assimilation, and metabolism of nutrients. Yet another vital organ, lungs, which commonly gets affected, presents with sequelae of breathing difficulty and other abnormal changes which affects the normal respiration. Not to discount on the emotional distress, the brain is undergoing energy deprivation as most of the energy gets diverted to take care of some of the critical but basic vital activities, and hence fatigue, stress, and anxiety, along with brain fog, dizziness, loss of concentration, alertness, thinking ability, or the memory gets affected. Restoring your health could be naturally supported by identifying and supplementing micronutrients and wherever required with natural, time-tested, traditional Ayurvedic herbs. We have heard from previous speakers emphasizing that adequate nutrition is the foundation of optimal health and highlighted the importance of various nutrients. Hope you're all with me. It may be challenging in this fast-paced lifestyle to provide all the essential nutrients recommended per day through diet. In addition, some amount of nutrients may be lost during process of cooking. Hence, it is vital to address the nutrition gap in the daily diet with the right supplements to provide optimal health. Further, we would like to add on some of the salient scientific rationale behind the use of nutritional supplements. So, firstly, we would like to take Nutrilite all plant protein powder to support your protein needs. I'm sure many of you know about all plant protein, right? Just reiterating again, protein is critical as people going through infections are not eating properly. There's a low appetite as well. They even do less movements and hence become weak with low energy, which is paired with loss of muscle mass. Therefore, it becomes important to regularly consume proteins to help restore the muscle mass along with exercise. It is also known that 9 out of 10 Indians are diet deficient in proteins. And proteins, as all of you know, it is the built-in block of human body and is required for normal functioning to build and repair cells and tissues. Friends, do you know protein is a vital nutrient in our body, constituting about 1/5 of the adult's body weight? Yes, about half of the protein is found in the muscle and 1/5 of this protein is found in the bones, cartilage and in immune cells. Nutrilite all plant protein powder provides us 80% of protein that are 100% plant sourced in every scoop. It provides all the 9 essential amino acids that human body cannot produce and must be taken from diet. Did you know that glutamine formed from glutamic acid is consumed at a similar rate or greater than glucose in illness and during recovery phase by the immune cells? Therefore, it is very important to replenish these amino acids regularly. Plant proteins from soy are rich in these amino acids, glutamic acid and arginine. Nutrilite all plant protein powder is neutral in taste, as all of you know, and therefore can be easily added to a glass of water, milk, variety of milkshakes, juice, buttermilk, or it goes right well with the wheat flour for making roti, bread, cakes. I'm sure even your kids will love it. Secondly, we have Nutrilite Vitamin C Cherry Plus, intended for adults who have weakened immunity. Vitamin C is another important nutrient to support immunity, as all of you are aware. Did you know that the need of vitamin C increases several folds during infection, illness, and stress, or even during the recovery phase? During infection, vitamin C strengthens the first line of defense, the respiratory tract, GIT, and the skin that we were discussing some time back, right? Now, in the recovery phase, there is still subclinical level of inflammation and excess of reactive oxygen species, which may affect the whole body, including the immune cells. Vitamin C, with its antioxidant effect, may support to prevent the damage and restoration of these immune cells. Apart from the immune functions, did you know vitamin C is also accumulated in large concentrations in the brain? And it is transported through the specialized transporters called SVCT2, and research indicates its important function in managing stress, anxiety, as well as improving alertness. Therefore, we at Nutrilite recently launched our very own Nutrilite Vitamin C Cherry Plus that has been doing very well for us, and thanks to each one of you for your support. Another important factor to remember is that majority of vitamin C, when it is given in a single large dose, does not get completely absorbed by the body and ends up getting wasted. Nutrilite Vitamin C Cherry Plus contains 400 milligrams of vitamin C and is built with extended release technology that provides slow and steady release of vitamin C in the body over 8-hour period for supporting those who have weakened immunity. Nutrilite Vitamin C Cherry Plus is made with a mixture of natural acerola cherry extract and purified ascorbic acid. Acerola cherries are one of the nature's most concentrated source of vitamin C, cultivated in our certified organic farm in Brazil. Thirdly, we want to talk about Chyawanprash by Nutrilite. I'm sure each one of you are familiar with Chyawanprash and have related it at some point in time in your life, right? Or at least have heard about it. Chyawanprash is the most well-known rasayana, an adaptogen which helps to withstand the ill effects caused by various stressors. It could be physical, chemical, or environmental. It is known to reduce the respiratory discomfort such as cough and cold and strengthen your immune health. It also restores energy, preserves strength, stamina, and vitality, which will help support the immunity and overall health with regular continuous use. Chyawanprash by Nutrilite is a blend of 32 herbs authenticated by DNA fingerprinting made with 16 certified organic ingredients with no preservatives. Isn't it exciting, friends? It is yet another successful launch we have had this year under Nutrilite, where the formulation primarily aims to support immunity and rejuvenation of the body with its regular use. Bringing to you a classical Chyawanprash recipe, which you and your family right from the children age above 6 years can consume without any worry. Let's move on to the fourth important supplement, that is Nutrilite Salmon Omega-3. Like the skin ages faster in some due to lifestyle or environmental factors and stress, our immune cells age too. And this process is called immunosenescence or inflammation. This leads to reduced ability to fight infections. These factors trigger continuous subclinical inflammation. And with the current global scenario, the stress is touching new horizons, be it for taking care of self, family, isolation, concomitant medications, concurrent illness, or work-life balance. The stress is very harmful at physical and physiological level, and if remains unchecked, would lead to further deteriorations. Research shows that omega-3 fatty acids helps in slowing down the adverse outcomes of this inflammation while prolonging the quality of life. It exerts anti-inflammatory action by producing distinct omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids derived from metabolites collectively named as specialized pro-resolving mediators or SPMS, and acts as strong anti-inflammatory agents. With regular intake, omega-3 may help reduce subclinical inflammation and thereby countering inflammation. Isn't it exciting, friends? Omega-3 is rich in fish and seafood, and therefore providing adequate supply of this nutrient regularly may be a challenge. Hope you're all with me. We at Amway INS realize the necessity of omega-3 and its recent advances in countering the inflammation in our daily life, and designed the supplement Nutrilite Salmon Omega-3. This product combines omega-3 sourced from salmon raised in the cold, pure waters of Norway and blend of 3 additional omega-3 sources, anchovy, mackerel, and sardine, and ensures to provide adequate omega-3 when taken daily along with regular diet. Each soft gel of omega-3 provides 180 milligram of eicosapentaenoic acid, EPA, what we commonly say, and 120 milligrams of docosahexaenoic acid, which is DHA. Omega-3 helps maintain normal blood cholesterol and healthy heart, as well as brain development functions, circulatory health, normal visions, and supports joint flexibility. Coming to the fifth supplement, which is Nutrilite Daily for multivitamin and multimineral needs. Phases of extreme exertion, be it physical or mental, like in current times, leads to damage of the body cells and therefore increases the demand for micronutrients. These are involved in our day-to-day cellular functions like energy production, immunomodulation, gene expression, and production of regulatory metabolites. It is especially important to have the right blend of vitamins, minerals, and immune-boosting foods to meet your daily requirements of the nutrition along with regular diet. However, you will also agree with me that many of these vital nutrients are lost during processing, preparation, and in the cooking phases. This eventually leads to nutrition gaps, and unknowingly, we put our body under stressful and deficient mode. This is where Nutrilite daily supplementation will play a key role in bridging the nutritional gap in your daily diet. Our Nutrilite Daily has got the right blend of micro and macronutrients required by the body with 13 vitamins and 11 minerals, and added advantages of natural plant concentrates like organically grown acerola cherry, parsley, spinach, watercress, alfalfa, and carrot in one tablet. Vitamin A has been long used as an anti-infective vitamin because of its crucial role in membrane integrity, antioxidant activity, and as well as immunomodulatory property. Similarly, vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, folic acids are important vitamins that strengthens the immune system, integrity of the connective tissue, adequate brain health, etc. Minerals like zinc, iron, copper, and selenium helps in boosting the immunity by either initiating, regulating, or promoting the immune reactions. Of the 24 vitamins and minerals in Nutrilite Daily, at least 12 of them are known for supporting immunity. Isn't it exciting, friends? Last but not the least, let's talk about Nutrilite Calmate D Plus for your bone health needs. As I have been talking about subclinical inflammation, especially in the current scenario of high stress and recuperation period, it also has an impact on the bone health. To add to this, there is reduced physical activity among the people, nutritionally inadequate diet, minimal exposure to the sun, and high probability of weight gain, thereby increasing strain on the bones and impacting the bone mineral density. Nutrilite Calmate D Plus contains essential bone building nutrients like calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, and zinc, in addition to manganese and copper. The calcium is from algal source, one of the most concentrated botanical sources of calcium. This calcium is sourced from the pristine waters of Iceland, and vitamin D helps in calcium absorption in the body, as all of you know. Magnesium and zinc helps in maintaining the healthy bones. And zinc, yes, of course, it also supports the healthy immune system. Adequate consumption of calcium every day avoids stealing of calcium from your bones to perform various critical functions in the body and helps maintain strong bones and teeth. Magnesium and vitamin D are known to modulate the immune function at both innate as well as adaptive immunity, where you know innate is a short term as well as adaptive immunity is over a long term on a specific immune response, right? I would not like to go into the details and nitty-gritty of this innate as well as adaptive immunity. During the current challenging times, it is very important to maintain health by addressing the nutritional gaps to support immune system. Nutrition has paramount important role in the current situation. Scientists, physicians, and nutritionists across the globe are working together to find ways to address these issues. Again, reiterating that we at Amway and Nutritionist, as pioneers in nutritional products, are consistently looking at ways to address the unmet nutritional gaps in the daily diet of the people. Being flag bearers of the nutrition, it is our responsibility to reach out to the lives of our customers and create awareness on the nutritional gap in the daily diet in many people, and it can be bridged through supplementation, which is backed by right science for overall well-being. Thank you, friends, for your patient listening, and I would be very happy to connect with you at any point in time if you have any clarifications on these points that we have discussed. Thanks again.
I used to think that you diet and you work out and you'll be absolutely fit. But a few months ago, my belief was totally shaken up. So I wanted to up my workout for a new role. But Neelam, my trainer, said that I had to be extremely careful because women over 35 lose bone density because of calcium intake. So calcium intake is extremely important. So I instantly narrated my daily diet to her, thinking calcium can't really be a problem for me, right? But she was like, "Pura padega kya?" And I thought, "Phir calcium kaise pura padega?" And then she introduced me to Nutrilite, Cal Mag D+, जो calcium intake और absorption दोनों का ख्याल रखता है. So I began supplementing my regular diet with Nutrilite, and I really feel it helps my body in meeting its daily calcium needs. So I choose to plug the nutrition gap with Nutrilite. When are you starting to?
Thank you everyone for being a part of our first session of Liv Nutrilite at 360 that was focused on meeting your immunity needs and queries relating to diet and supplements post-COVID-19 infection. To help you take this information forward, we will be launching an exclusive offer for you and your family, which is focused on the products as explained by our experts during the session. Please get ready for the Foundational Care Bundle offer, which will be available from 24th May 10 am onwards. With this offer, when you buy Nutrilite All Plant Protein Powder 1 kg, Nutrilite Daily 120N, Nutrilite Salmon Omega 3, Nutrilite Cal Mag D+, Chyawanprash by Nutrilite, and Nutrilite Vitamin C Cherry Plus, you will get the awesome UV eye gear worth rupees 2,999 absolutely free. Now, isn't this an exciting offer? Hurry, as the offer will be valid till stocks last. Also, would like to remind you all that we will be coming back with our next session focused on lung health with our experts on the 6th of June as a part of our Liv Nutrilite at 360 initiative. So, stay tuned and thank you so much.